It wasn't just that you wanted to be an artist or express yourself. You wanted art to be a part of God's gospel-making power.
Right, and it was not just a tool. It actually is, it's very environmental, it's very human. I have always talked in those early days as I became a campus leader at the University of California, where we grew from 20 students to over 400 every week. That sounds like a fairly effective church planting operation to me. And I often talked about the total experience. Later on, I would say that the service is the sermon, not just the lecture. And in those dynamics, we've got people who've been created by God that have a sensitivity to how humans and human community interacts. And they need to be turned loose with their proclivities and their sensitivities to help us design community experiences which are gospel-centered and word-centered, but not just content-centered, encounter-centered.
Experiential.
Yes, matter of fact, since you mentioned that word, and that's still a dangerous word, particularly in conservative evangelical communities, let me just take for a moment and remind us there are at least 3 dynamics of intelligence in Scripture, not just one. We normally say that it's intellectual intelligence that is key, and that God has given human beings intellectual intelligence to inform us of His objective reality and the objective realities of His morality and the way that reality works. Absolutely foundational, central. I am a conservative evangelical and am totally set on that reality. But something I see in Scripture also is that God has given us imaginal intelligence. That dynamic of our intelligence, along with our spirituality and morality and personality and volitionality and personality, this capacity of imaginality being made in God's image really distinguishes us, along with those other very important realities, distinguishes us between other animals. Animals have instinct. Humans have imaginality. Unfortunately, it's not even on any of the Protestant lists of God's attributes or perfections, because Protestants see God's creativity based on His power, which is not wrong. It's right, but it's not all. He had power to make all things from no thing. That is phenomenal. But He also made things beautiful.
Right. And He gave us the ability to participate in making beautiful things.
Absolutely. The challenge is, even in the 79 times that the terms imagine and to imagine and imagination are used in the Hebrew Scriptures, 6 or 8 or 9 of them, I believe, are related to vain imagination, which is related to idolatry. But the other uses of that are never translated imagination in the Scripture. They're translated mind, which we interpret with our modernist point of view, which is content, but it's more than that. Or fashioned or formed, which really it has to do with this issue of what the word means in Hebrew, the ability to see, to fashion in our mind before we form it in time and place. So you'll see it translated mind, fashion, and form. You could really translate the Scripture verse, Isaiah 26:3. He is kept in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. No, it's the word yatsar. He is kept in perfect peace whose imagination is stayed on God, focused on God, steadfast on God. Why is that? Because God is the holy, completely other, eternal, one-of-a-kind, uncreated being. Right? That's good biblical theology, right? So how did He create finite human beings who are not little gods? Finite, in His image, albeit. How did He create them? To have intimate interaction with Him. Imaginal intelligence.